Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live. Talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to lynncullenshow@gmail.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
Hey there, and a welcome and apologies to those of you who like things to be on time. We're starting a bit late. We blame it on bad drivers, accident, resulting backup on Route 28, which is always backed up anyway, and the producer being unable to get in to start the show. But he did, and here we are, and it's a Tuesday, and it's September 12th, and Susan should be on the line. Hi.
Hello.
Well, whoa. Sorry about all that.
That's okay. I was just enjoying the quiet, the unexpected 15 minutes. 22 minutes, excuse me.
Yeah, 22 minutes. Yeah. And speaking of that, I can't do a full 60 minutes because I have an engagement. And so we'll probably be doing about a 45-minute show today. Okay?
Whatever.
More than enough.
More than enough. Right.
More than enough because. So I don't even know. First of all, you're not into football, but I have.
No, I can't help it. Schadenfreude, raises his head again.
Yeah, it's too much even for me. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers, but
I wouldn't wish this kind of this is probably a career ender.
Yeah, and it's just I mean, the NFL, which is a vile organization, has an entertainment model that is based on this horrible game, like a train wreck that you can't take your eyes off of. That
gladiator sport. Just call it what it is.
It is. It's a gladiator sport. And so it's never, I don't know why, it's never surprising. I mean, not any game happens without somebody being injured. And it's just that they were counting. My Schadenfreude was about the NFL. Thinking, this Monday night football game with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, man, 9/11, this is just going to be huge. You can't do better narrative building than this and blah, blah, blah. And then he ends up playing, altogether he played about 123 seconds.
Yes, but if you stuck with the game, what you did see...
Then, the game...
was something truly remarkable.
Yeah, it turned into an extraordinary game that was a nail biter, overtime, unbelievable. Unbelievable. And the Jets winning without
a punt return by an undrafted walk-on.
Yeah.
In overtime for a touchdown. That's only happened 3 times ever, but I don't think it's ever happened with an undrafted walk-on. Which and just the poetic symmetry of the overpriced, over the hill, over-egoed quarterback playing how many seconds, and the guy who nobody knew who he was, nobody gave him the time of day, no one paid any attention to his talent, being an amazing hero. Yeah, that's sort of like the American story.
You can't make it up. And for those of you who aren't into football, sorry, but I mean, this is one of the biggest. It was unbelievable.
Well, they were supposed to lose, first of all. I mean, even, it was going to be a difficult play against the Patriots, right?
No, not the Patriots.
Yeah, who were they playing? I can't even remember.
The Bills.
The Bills, right.
Bills.
One of those East Coast teams, yeah.
Well, no, and the Bills
are supposed to walk all over them. Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. I think it was whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, it just. I never thought I could feel sad for Aaron Rodgers, but I have to admit I did. That's brutal. Now, and our brother, I of course texted our brother immediately, and he told me something that I did not know. And that is that the trade from Green Bay to New York had a lot of, we'll give you this, you get a first round draft pick for this, that, and the other. It was all this,
complicated negotiation. Yeah.
Yeah. But Bill said it was contingent on Rodgers having to play at least 65% of the downs, the snaps.
So everybody loses.
So the Packers get fucked again by Rodgers. They lose. I think they lose that first round draft choice. Everybody, whatever. He's one of these people who, I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter. But I just had to mention it because it was, oh God, football. I can't quit it, and yet I hate it.
No, I can't either, and I really hate it. But then the Packers' opening game is against the Bears, and I know, I want to, and so how are you not going to watch? And then right,
yeah, so all that. The Steelers stunk to high heaven. It's good when you have two teams. So the Steelers stunk and the Packers looked okay, but whatever. Okay. Enough. We'll stop.
Enough. That's all I know anyway.
Yeah, no. I feel really guilty.
It's actually more than I know, obviously.
Yeah, I feel guilty. I do. Good God in heaven. They're saying there may be as many as 10,000 people dead in Libya.
It washed out to sea, whole villages. And I just thought to myself this morning, how is anybody in the world not convinced that, either they think that there is the Mother Earth is very angry, or some God is very angry, or they accept that climate change is very real because every single weather event that is occurring, one every day, is except for the earthquake wasn't a weather event, but it is a natural event. But everything is just Morocco accepted. But there's plenty of hurricanes, typhoons, wildfires.
All of this death, my God almighty.
No, whole villages were washed out to sea.
Yeah. And these are the stories now, and this is different because I've been, obviously watching the news more closely than most people for most of my life. And weather has never been the major story, but increasingly this year, even with all the other major stories like the end of democracy and all the other stuff, weather is going to be the biggie. And continue to be. And did you see what happened? The flood in a Portuguese village. You didn't see that one.
No.
It says here the residents woke up to an almost biblical scene. The streets were impassable. A raging river of close to 600,000 gallons of red wine.
Oh, that one. Yes, I did.
What? Amidst all the flood stories, I have to admit that one made me laugh. 600,000 gallons of red wine tore through this little town of 2,000 people. No one was injured in the Burgundy deluge, it says, but there was quite a bit of damage. Something breached in a distillery so whatever.
But how it could all the wine could be connected to one pipe, it's just
two wine tanks. There were two tanks of wine, enough to fill an Olympic-sized pool. And somehow they were breached. Yeah. Something. I don't know. Ain't my problem.
Boy, insurance companies are having a bad year.
Oh, God. I know. I thought, how do we laugh about some of this?
No, I mean, because what else are you going to do?
Oh, my God in heaven. Okay, here's another one where I just can't even friggin' believe it. Normally, we wouldn't be paying attention to a legislative race in Virginia. But,
the Democrats?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, wait. But like so many, these seats now are really, I mean, these legislatures are in play. So that what normally wouldn't be important, given where our democracy is, if there are like a few toss-ups, that can literally change who controls which party, the fascist party or the Democratic Party, who's going to control the legislature, the legislative branch, and consequently perhaps protect democracy. The Democratic candidate in one of these crucial districts is a first-time contender. She's a nurse practitioner. And
with an unfortunate quirk.
Well, she shares it with her husband. The unfortunate quirk being something that I cannot even begin to comprehend. It is that they perform sexual acts for an live online audience. For tips.
Yeah, it's like OnlyFans. That's what it is.
Who knew? It is what do you call it? It's a site called Chatterbait, because people are masturbating while they chat and watch the evening's entertainment. She and her husband, they talk to the people. People request them to do certain acts. She says, oh, well, if I'm going to do that, you're going to have to give a little more. And apparently they're not supposed to ask. Anyway, this is all out there. It's out there. This again shows that people are incapable of being shamed anymore. She's
sex positive.
What?
It's a new term.
Positive.
She's sex positive.
Yeah, and if those of us who find this a little appalling, but my God.
Who believe a shade of privacy might be a good thing, literally, a shade.
Yeah. and so an attorney says, there is absolutely no law that these people are violating. None. In this case, you have two adults who are engaging in consensual sex, and they have decided that they want to broadcast that. And they're doing so in exchange for tipping. There's absolutely nothing illegal about it. And then
that's like the sky is blue, and therefore you should not consider this. No, if this isn't an indication of somebody's character and who they are in real life, then I don't know. Maybe that doesn't bother you. That's up to you, or maybe you find it questionable.
Yeah, okay. A little questionable about their judgment. I don't care about their sex life, but the public aspect of it is, and the guy who said that, by the way, is a prominent adult entertainment lawyer. So,
well, of course. And it's like Larry Flint. Yeah.
He says, I think it's fantastic that you have someone here running for office who has an open sex life. It is actually very refreshing. Okay. It's also, for the Democrats, disaster.
Yeah, really, guys, come on. If our biggest problem is that we're so woke that there isn't a culture war that we don't know the correct side to be on, then you're chasing more and more moderate people to where the hell should I go? And where the hell they go is they stay home. And we need no one to stay home. We need everybody to be voting and voting the right way. So yeah.
And let me just say this. I found her what she has said. She called the exposure of the videos an illegal invasion of my privacy designed to humiliate me and my family? Here's what I want to know. What concept does this woman have of her privacy?
Yeah. I mean, she's given up all rights to her privacy. I'm sorry.
The one who's performing sex acts for money on to anybody.
And in what world did she think that was going to remain private?
And she went on to say, it won't intimidate me and it won't silence me. My political opponents and their Republican allies have proven they're willing to commit a sex crime to attack me and my family because there's no line they won't cross to silence a woman when she speaks up. They're looking into that this is revenge porn, and the state of Virginia has a law which makes it a class 1 misdemeanor to maliciously distribute nude images of another person with intent to harass. But
I'm sorry. You're the one that posted it, sweetheart. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to go to law school here.
Yeah. You have no expectation of privacy whatsoever. I'm sorry.
And in the article,
you might as well have put it on the hospital website. I'm sorry.
Right. So the Washington Post in writing this says, coming down where Susan and I are, the Post, it says, typically does not identify victims of alleged sex crimes to protect their privacy. In this case, Gibson, the woman, originally live streamed these sexual acts on a site that was not password protected. The couple had more than 5,700 followers. Many of the videos remained available to the public on other unrestricted sites as of Saturday. So, my God. She's a good-looking woman, though. Did you see her?
No.
She's beautiful.
That's nice.
I mean, she's beautiful. I don't know about her husband, but she's
he's
very
probably a hunk too. Speaking of which, my new next door neighbor walked by this morning while I was walking my dog, and he had just gone for a run, and he was walking towards me shirtless, glistening in the sun, and man, does that man work out. It was everything I could do to not say something admiring to him.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. Yeah.
No, but I noted. I mean, he obviously didn't care.
No, he's probably he's like,
he gave me a treat. Yeah.
Whatever. God. Boy. So, there's all of that. Anyway, they're back. You know what I'm talking about? The House of Representatives, the Republicans. They're back.
I am heartened to find out that Marjorie Taylor Greene has under a 1% national approval rating.
That can't be.
No, it is apparently. There's some poll where, she came in there. Everybody hates her.
Vile. Anyway, she's a very powerful, hated person. She really is.
Yeah.
So they're back. These guys who control the lower house of our Congress. And with all the stuff that they're dealing with, what's number one on their agenda?
Oh, we're going to impeach Joe Biden. What did he do?
What are the grounds? I don't know.
I haven't heard a word about what the grounds are.
I think the grounds are having a troubled son.
Oh.
A troubled son and having beaten Donald Trump. I think those are the grounds. I don't know if those rise to high crimes and misdemeanors. But you know as much as I do. What are the grounds? How? This is why you cannot, anyone who votes for anyone in this party is part of just the dissolution of not only democracy, but decency, common sense.
It's the cynicism with which they just send out the disinformation. That if we impeach, there's something impeachable. That if Trump seeks to have the judge, thrown off his case, there's a good reason. That if he had, and it's all just, the part that bothers me is that people on the other side that might for no good reason have common sense or know anything about how the legal system in their very own country works, that they might fall for this shit, but it's all just BS. I mean, it's exactly like saying to the judge, I know you want us to come in on October 23rd, but the sky is blue. It has all the legal significance of that in every single one of their arguments, but people on the outside think simply by the lodging of it, there must be something to it.
Yeah, well, that's what. Yeah, they're performative.
It's all performative.
Creating impressions, misinformation, and it's just play acting. Did you happen? Treat yourself, folks, to look up the letter. It's rather lengthy that Fani Willis, the DA in Atlanta, wrote to the execrable. Is that a word?
Well, if inexcrable is worse than execrable, I don't know.
Execrable. Meaning just loathsome. But I used loathsome so much, I was just going for something else. Jim Jordan, congressman from our neighboring state of Ohio.
Oh, because
Jim Jordan.
He's interfering with the legal system. Yeah.
Yeah, he has said he's demanding that she give him all kinds of information about the case she has against Trump and the others. And she wrote him a letter schooling this performative fascist in civics, in separation of powers, in what the Constitution gives you the power to do, what the Constitution gives me the power to do. And interestingly enough, schooling him on federalism, something that the Republicans used to, be
champion.
Yes, championing. So it is just an incredible takedown. But the thing is, her strongly reasoned repost, as you suggest, that doesn't get the play that the performative crapola that these guys engage in gets. And here again is where media are not rising to the bait. I saw somebody worrying that media was picking up on the Biden's too old thing in the same way and sort of trumpeting it in the same way that, but her emails.
Right.
Her emails.
Right.
That they pick up they pick up, one or two here and there and run with them.
And without any of the corresponding analysis of Trump and his, falsisms about his height, weight, and general health, who is only 4 years younger. So at what point do we, that's already above the age that they're...
Anymore. Yeah, it's a wash at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no evidence that one might be healthier than the other, or that the elder can't be better health than the younger.
I think in this case, probably Biden is in better health.
In much better shape.
That he certainly seems more fit, but then again, who the hell? I don't know. We don't know. Did you see this? I didn't know that this got much attention. That every presidential library, and I guess every president has one, except guess who?
Oh, well, Trump, because he doesn't read.
He doesn't read. Every president So every presidential library, some are called foundations or some are called centers, whatever. Everyone from Herbert Hoover to Barack Obama, that is, I don't know how many in all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, actually saw fit to issue a letter about protecting America's democracy. I think that's stunning.
Yeah, as well they should.
Exactly. Because obviously you have bipartisan. I mean, you've got, for heaven's sakes, the Richard Nixon Foundation signing off, the LBJ Foundation, the
Gerald Ford Foundation, right?
The Gerald Ford, the Carter Foundation,
the Ronald Reagan
Center, the Ronald Reagan, all of it. Oh, except there is one missing, which is interesting. And I'm willing to bet that the one missing, that there's hell to pay right now with the fact that this thing came out and they were the only ones who said, no, I think we need to take more time. And it's the Eisenhower Foundation.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
I know. I think they just...
So they're just out of touch.
They fucked up. Yeah. It says here the Eisenhower Foundation was the only one to not sign, and the organization has not detailed its reasoning. The executive director said that the organization respectfully declined because it would be the first common statement that the presidential centers and foundations have ever issued as a group, and we have had no collective discussion about it. Only an invitation to sign. So they were saying, I'm sorry, but we need to get our people together and we need to talk about this. Everybody else was saying, the house is on fire. We just gonna sign this, okay?
What's there to discuss? Whether the house is on fire?
So, you know, a long, whatever. Anyway,
to mask the fact that they screwed up.
Yeah. They, of course, never mentioned Trump in this, but they don't have to.
No.
And it's all they talk about.
It's the one without the library.
They talk about that there needs to be civility and respect in political discourse.
And dialogue and discourse. And violent messaging, that's, not a good idea, and all of that. So from Herbert Hoover to Barack Obama, with Dwight Eisenhower very angry about what his folks did. Unbelievable. Yeah. It is scary. I mean, it's at this point, I'm not disbelieving that we are where we are. I just am, so dismayed and so, so petrified that people don't get lackadaisical about how serious this is. Cardi B, who was being interviewed last night and asked about, was discussing the fact that she was very active for, why am I just, of course, his name just went out of my head, the progressive presidential candidate, white-haired gentleman that is a meme sitting in his mittens and jacket. I just can't come up.
Bernie
Sanders. Okay. Discussing how she had been working hard for Bernie Sanders. And her reply was, I'm out of it. I'm so sick of all of this. I just can't take it. I'm out of it. And I'm going, oh no, people look to you.
You can't. You
can't be out of it. You have to say, "Oh my God, we've got to." I don't care who you're for, but you got to get out there and be working.
So,
that upset me. Hearing that from
Well, I mean, at some point, I think all of us are entitled to
opt out. I agree, but I don't know.
For just a mental health break, whatever.
Right.
She'll be back in. You can't. I understand. There are times when you have to say, I cannot do this anymore. But to your remark about how it's scary, I was reminded of that last night because I had to go to my synagogue. And I have to admit, I haven't been to my synagogue in an awfully long time. I really haven't.
Yeah.
And,
well, two of us.
Yeah. And this was for a shiva, which is, when you, after somebody dies, you get together and.
I'm sorry that you.
That's right. And pray and whatever. Yeah. Well, wonderful man. And I went and I wasn't necessarily, I mean, so what was it? A Monday night, right? It was a Monday night. And I guess I was surprised that when I walked up the steps to the only entrance that is open, there are many entrances to the building. The front entrance is almost always, you can't go in there normally. So I knew that the side was where you go in. And I went in, as I turned to go in to the side, there was a armed.
Yeah, an armed guard. You bet.
Police officer.
Yep.
The police officer. And I was surprised just because it wasn't, I thought, whoa. I said, hi. He said, hi, how you doing? I said, fine. I kept walking. Then I get in and I'm, of course, there is just security everywhere. And when I was leaving, I saw something I had never seen. There are things, these things attached to the wall. I saw two of them. I'm sure they're all over the building. And they're a bright kind of yellow. And it says police on it. And I guess it's one of those things where if you just pull it, you're summoning police immediately. Right. It's an immediate. I had never seen that. And I thought, here I am in a house of worship, Jews,
being told quite clearly you're a sitting duck,
that I'm at risk, that there is a potential threat here big enough that, the armed police guy, then those things that I saw, and I thought, wow, this is not some thought experiment. This is real. And I mean, it's just a few blocks away, there was the massacre of Jews just trying to pray. It's real. But I'm going to remind you that even when we were children, there during the high holy days at our synagogue, they were guarded. I know, but that's because I know.
That's because there were 8 of us in a town, right?
But this is rougher.
No, of course,
because even then there had never been. I mean, the Pittsburgh massacre is the largest in American history. Right. So that is a whole different level of the kind of anti-Semitism that we certainly grew up with. But wow, just wow. So okay. Well, listen, I've only got a few. We got a caller. Caller, come on in, but you got to be quick.
Good morning. Okay. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Real quick.
Okay.
I just wanted your perspective on the copyright infringement since Donald Trump did that mugshot. I read it in the New York Post and other online. What is your perspective? Do you think that he violated the copyright laws by selling all that?
Oh, that he's using state property.
Exactly.
The Fulton County mugshot to raise money. Listen, of all the crimes, if you want my actual opinion, the answer is no. For the same reason that we were saying that woman didn't have a right to claim that she didn't have privacy. Those are open records. It's been in every newspaper. He could have lifted it from a newspaper and then published it. They have no right to expect that anybody can't use that for whatever reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's.
Okay, the second thing, real quick now. This morning I was listening to BBC, and there was a gentleman from Australia, Protrov, I think, and he made such a great statement. He said that as long as North Korea, there's a war going on for North Korea and a war going on for Putin, the regimes will stay intact. And he was referring to the Korean War. That, remember, they had that Photoshop, him, Trump and Kim.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't. No, that wasn't.
I mean, I remember the photo, but I don't know anything about the rest of it.
Oh, that was a
no.
Photoshop.
The man made a statement that the regimes will still go on because they are both in wars.
Well, that's generally the way it happens. You get a lock. The country unifies behind the ruler because of the war, whether it's right or wrong. I mean, it happened here with Iraq or Iran.
Or Iraq.
Or Iraq. Or Afghanistan.
Okay,
Yeah.
you.
I hope I was quick enough. Okay. Enjoy.
Okay.
You were very quick, and I thank you. I appreciate it.
So long.
Shalom. If did she say so long or shalom?
No, she said so long.
Okay, I said shalom. It worked. What the hell? Kurt,
aloha.
If I'm not mistaken, presidential libraries are built with donations, usually solicited by the former presidents themselves. And he says, can you imagine Trump going out and raising money that didn't come directly to him?
Well, that's correct too. He wouldn't have a library unless he could live in it.
Yeah, this is true.
I mean, he'd just call his house a library, and then he would make it a tax deduction. And the library would be in his bathroom where he kept all of his files. See, it's already there. We just didn't know.
You know. Speaking of, Ella brought up countries at war. There was this thing, and I was mentioning it before, that the Ukraine-Russian war has shown that wars in the future will be very different than the wars of the past. So any future world war ain't going to look like World War II. Not at all. It won't look like World War II on the seas. It won't look like it on land. In large part, obviously, because... No,
it's going to look like Star Wars with robots fighting robots.
Right. And drones. It'll be all that stuff. AI. And it was pointed out that, for instance, a drone costing $150,000 can take out, I guess it's a sea drone. I don't know what it can take out a large,
Navy
warship.
Yep.
Warship. You just like and a warship costs, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions. So then
Elon Musk said no.
Yeah, but I don't want. That's not what I want to talk about. No. I know. He's a whole other. I don't want to read this Isaacson book about him but he is such a dangerous, powerful man, and Isaacson does show that he is so nuts. He is erratic and nuts, and he's like a kid playing a video game. Only it's the real world he's playing with. Yeah, and it's frightening. Anyway, that's how I want to talk about it. What I wanted to talk about is
navies and drones.
Things are different. Yeah, navies. And so I saw that right now our Navy has the largest budget for shipbuilding it has ever had. $32 billion this year alone. And you know what they're building?
Drones.
No, they're not.
Why not?
Because they're wedded to what they always have done, and because the companies and congressional districts in which these shipbuilding places operate, the jobs, and I'm sorry, the lobbying, this is where those people live off of that money, and they don't make drones. They make aircraft carriers. They make destroyers. They make amphibious transport ships, but they don't make unmanned vessels. And the money continues to just go in this robotic, unthinking way, like we're zombies.
No, I would think that battleships are so out of...
No, we're building them. Your tax dollars. We're still... There's ones that still haven't even started building that they're going to build.
I mean, I could get submarines and stuff like that, but anything that sits on top of the water...
even submarines.
Well, there are other ways to track them, but there, I mean, it just seems to me that putting that much personnel and money on a floating thing in the middle of nowhere and not thinking that someone can attack you from above is just crazy. It's
insane that we used a long time ago. It doesn't work anymore. And a retired rear admiral, and he was the chief of naval research for years and years and years, says there is an arrogance here. We've got these aircraft carriers. We've got these amazing submarines. We don't know anything else. And that is just wrong. There's a small group in the Persian Gulf that has a teeny bit of money they were given, a small Navy outpost. They have been testing cheap, easier to build mobile forces that are, I'm sure, what the future is. And they have almost no budget, and they're pleading for more money. And the guy who's in charge of that says it's an unbelievable capability. We've tested this stuff for 35,000 hours or more. Why aren't we fielding this stuff as fast as possible? It is inexpensive, and it's AI, it's drone boats, unmanned submersibles.
Of course. Why? That's the whole point. You don't risk the personnel, and you don't risk the large assets.
But they don't have any money. Oh. They're not being given the money. The $32 billion.
Well, you gotta. Yeah. Well, Congress, the House is back in. You want to point your fingers at somebody. You want to just point your fingers at this total bunch of nincompoops. It's held hostage by 6 crazy people. That's ridiculous.
It's more than that. It's also the system that allows, believe me, just because jobs, you're going to close down this thing that, and the people, the Congress people that sit on these committees are often, they're from districts that get most of the dollars. You can't get past them. Innovation, we're ossified and stymied by old thinking, and the money that's invested in old stuff that doesn't work anymore and protected by Congress and the lobbyists who feed them. I don't know. We are fucked. I was with some people the other night, and they said, do you know how many times you've said we're fucked? it's like it didn't even matter what the subject was. And I guess everything I said at the end, I thought, we're fucked. Okay. And I think that's the end of us too, because I'm going to have to
go.
I'm going to have to run. But Sue, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay.
Where are you? You're in Chicago.
I'm in Chicago, but I will be returning in a few days.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
See ya. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. And, you guys, I just wanted to tell you, I have a guest tomorrow, and we'll have a respite from all of that stuff, all this stuff. And it's an unusual subject, but mostly it is about letters, things that letter writing, talk about something that is gone. Letter writing, personal letter writing, cursive personal letter writing. And it'll be because of a trove of letters that were found just between two young people in the late 20s, early 30s. And that's how you get into the subject matter. But it's fascinating and powerful. And I've not been able to, after reading the book in which these letters appear, it's been hard for me to I feel like I know these people. I know them. They're gone, but I know them. We'll talk about that and what we've lost. And those of us who hoard letters, because God knows I'm one of them, will understand and be reminded of the joy letter, the solidity of a letter, the time taken, a letter. Anyway, that's tomorrow. I'm excited about it. It's a respite. Enjoy the rest of this, what appears to be a beautiful day, and tomorrow.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.